Hi everyone, welcome to Borderless Heritage, where cultures collide and connections thrive. I'm Maite, and I came from Mexico, and here are
Nilu from Iran, Valeria from Nicaragua,
Che from Taiwan.
It's almost, at the time of this recording, the end of the winter here in Germany, which hopefully means no more snow. I must confess, not a big fan myself. And it's also the end season of the Christmas markets or Weihnachtsmärkte. And one thing that actually breaks my heart is most of it, the end of Glühwein. What is Glühwein? It's red or white wine cooked with spices such as anise star, cinnamon, clove, and orange. It is amazing, isn't it, girls?
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
rosé. They cook it with the rosé, not only red and white wine.
That's true. Because the Glühwein can be so thematic that each region of Germany could claim to have their own recipes. But the part that's actually surprised me is that during this cold holiday season, you can get it not only at your convenience stores or normal stores or even grocery shops, but on the streets. Mostly inside of these designated areas of the Christmas market, but also in little kiosks that just pop up for the season. So some people get very fond of it, not only for the taste but also for the presentation itself. It's quite charming. Some of the markets rent their refillable cups for a range of 2 or 4 euro, and it's quite accepted, or even 5 euros. Yeah, now the valuation now. We're having
And also because of the famous, like if the Christmas market's super famous, probably the cup is more expensive. Yeah.
Because it's quite expected that they're going to be taken as souvenirs. Remember last year you showed me a picture, Che, of a guy from Taiwan who had collected more than 100 Glühwein different cups.
I need to add this comment because this guy actually traveled to Germany during Christmas, but his main goal is to collect like Glühwein cups. I am like, he's crazy for me. I'm sorry if you listen to this.
Hopefully, yeah. Two things to clarify here. Here in Germany, it's allowed to drink alcohol on the street. We're not doing anything illegal here. And you don't have to have this mysterious paper bag hidden your beer in my hometown. And on a more controversial note, actually the legislation of alcohol in Germany is not designed to keep people away from alcohol, but rather intended to teach them the appropriated way to approach to alcohol consumption. Let's give it just like let's leave it there. As things we have seen in the street, it might think we can consider for another topic. But I'm getting out of the point here. What catch my eye with the Glühwein example is that from my perspective, to be honest, there is a very limited options of a street food here in Germany. And moreover, street drinks. We don't have much options to have drinks on the street that they don't come like in a bottle or in a can. So the most street food that we can find, that I can recall, is the currywurst, the shawarma, and the doner braces. These two last are coming actually from Turkish migration of the 1980s, and they make such an impact, you see, in the German area, that is actually described in an exhibition of the European Cultures Museum here in Dahlem. They have like a lot of explanation about the integration of the culture diaspora and how they came to arrival also. And for the drinks that they are offering this establishment, as I said, the options are sodas, beers, and the Aryan. The Aryan is a Turkish drink that is actually super salty and is come from yogurt, salt, and water. At the beginning, I thought it was to chop your shawarma. I didn't know how to drink it properly. I don't know if you also encountered this situation with the Aryan, or I'm the only one that didn't know how to use it. Valeria told me if they offer you Aryan again, accepted because I can use it for recipes. You said, isn't it?
Yeah, back home we have a similar kind of this salty yogurt that we added to, I don't know, we can add it with a tortilla, we can just eat it like straight away, or we can add it to we have a rice and beans dish and we mix it with that instead of using sour cream. And it tastes really good. So Maite knows that next time she has to bring me theirs.
But you can really easily find it in the Turkish stores or Iranian stores as well.
Yes, they have it. They have it in the markets. It's really
But
nice.
I think Turkish ones are a bit different in taste in comparison with Iranian ones. For example, recently I tried the ayran, which is from Turkey. In Persian is duk.
Okay.
In Iran is duk. Which was flavored with fruit. It was really interesting for me because we have not such a thing. For us, ayran, which is duk is a really salty, whitish, creamish, thick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's also uncommon to have flavors like mango or others.
Exactly,
yeah,
mango.
It's the plain, just yogurt, salty
The
yogurt
same.
kind of.
But so again, back to my example, the glue wine, what I found so interesting is spectacle of it, because it's actually cooked. I mean, it's not bottled. They are with their giant copper pots, putting all the wine together with the spices and the fire and the whole process of putting in the cube cups. And I was like, this reminds me of home. This reminds me of having a drink that is something made especially for the consumption on the streets and on the joy of pleasure of having something made especially for the season. So what comes to my mind is that you have, by any chance, any particularly drink that is have to be drinking on the street and you will enjoy it on the street?
Cannot think about anything really. I don't think we have, maybe because we don't have this culture of drinking in the street, especially like alcohol is prohibited. But the only thing that I can think about is duk. We have this kind of, I cannot still say a street food, but there is a kind of dessert with duk. The dessert is sweet and the duk is salty. It goes well together. So there are some, I don't know, shops that you go there and you have this glass of duk and this dessert, which we call it baklava. It's not the Turkish baklava, it's another kind of baklava.
The name comes.
Yeah, it's different. And you can just stand there near the shop or somewhere in the park and drink it and eat it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think nowadays most of people know bubble tea. I think it's really a Pacific drink that we will have on street. Like you can see, like tons of like bubble tea shop on the street, and mostly they open close to each other because at every shop they have their Pacific like flavors. Like for example, there's one shop that's like famous with milk, and another one's famous with their tea. And probably another one's famous with their like, I would say bubble, and also there's one famous with the sugar. Also, they will be famous with the fruity thing. Yeah, it's also we have like this kind of night market like culture thing. You can have like a lot of this kind of drink and buy like different kind of like little food on the street. It's like actually like the German Christmas market, but like another like taste. You can get a different kind of food like, with a small amount. You grab them, put them on your hands. You drink, you eat, find something new, and you go and buy something. I really miss that. And like next time I need to share the most famous like the favorite bubble tea I found here in Berlin.
Please do so.
Yeah, like the best one. Like because I need to mention because I prefer tea more than other things. So that one I like it. It's because they have better tea here.
Yeah, I think back in Nicaragua we do have a lot of street food. And because it's typically like food to go, it's like a quick lunch, a quick breakfast, but you need to drink something with it. So typically we have like fruit juices, but I think something that is maybe not unique, but is kind of not that common elsewhere, is that we have this cacao, like cocoa drink. And it's basically this cacao, the express version is the cacao powder with some milk. You just mix it, add some ice, and you're good to go. But then also has like this process, like for example glühwein, that you add other spices to it, and that's how you come with the powder. And then it becomes something like it's really tasty, and it's also kind of heavy. Like if you're not used to that, it's probably gonna be too heavy for your stomach. But if you're already used to that, you can have that with other like cheesy or fried food, and for some reason it matches really well. It's like when you want to have this kind of food that is greasy and you want a soda, so it has the same vibe for it. So it's something that is also heavy for your body, but it needs that combination,
Yeah, exactly. For example, we have these morning carnivals. Are you familiar with this concept?
No.
Okay, there are some religious dates or period of time in a year that we have some carnivals mourning about some holy people who were killed very before. So in morning carnivals they offer different kind of drinks to people, mostly tea or milk cacao, but you cannot find these things usually, but just in this kind of carnivals, like morning carnivals.
Yeah, but it's totally different. But we do have this kind of breakfast shop. I don't know if you have breakfast shop, and I don't know if I should mention this, but actually this kind of breakfast shop, usually they will serve like, you can take away like coffee, milk tea, rice milk, soybean milk, this kind of thing. Not milk, because milk is super expensive back home. Anyway, and it's always famous that actually this kind of milk tea will make you want to go to the toilet.
Oh.
It's not because it's bad.
It cleans your body.
It cleans your body. Yeah. But it's always so good that everyone love it, and they have it and go to the toilet. And by the way, this kind of milk tea is super cheap. It's like 50 cents.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not street food, but it's also like a really easy takeaway drink.
Okay.
Speaking of presentation, I think the one that came to my mind is a cold drink on the go that we have in Mexico. It's sell on the traffic lights at my home city actually, and it's in an icy bag, plastic bag with a straw, and it's portable, it's fresh, and it's actually made from the fermentation of peels of pineapple peels, like from the fermentation of them. It has water and piloncillo. And piloncillo, it's a sugar-based thing that it's solid. It comes from the when they compress the sugar cane. It's like the remains of it, as far as I understand. It makes like very thick sugar paste. And they combine everything. They leave it to sink and ferment it for some days. And then they serve it with ice and on the street. It appears to be alcoholic, because I'm saying fermentation here, but it actually has a very low alcohol content because it's not legal to drink on the streets of Mexico, to be honest. But it's very easy to carry, and you will find it on the street. They put it out in wood barrels. They are coming from the wood barrels, and it's actually interesting to see because sometimes they paint the barrels in a very pink color that you can identify it on the distance, like, oh, in this light street there is Tepache. Let's give it a go. Also, for example, we have the hibiscus drink that is super red because they put it to soak for a couple of hours, and the flower that the hibiscus has drop this color. And I have to do a little bit of research actually, because I discover now, encountering more cultures here in the university, that this particularly flower comes from the African countries, to be more
Okay.
precise, from the West Africa area. They call it for example, the diaspora that is in the Caribbean, they call it sorrel, but in Senegal they call it bisap, sobolo in Ghana, and sobo in Nigeria. It's actually a flower that comes from that area, and it's very catchy on the eye when you're having a lot of options of drinks on the street.
No, because I don't think we have something like that from the color of the drink.
Yeah.
But this presentation made me think of there's a super bitter tea we have. Like, I saw the word and like the bitterness will come out of my throat. Actually, it's super bitter, but it's super healthy for your body. Like the tea itself is super bitter, but it can chill yourself down, your body down. Like after all, we're always, if we're talking about food, we need to talk about how food affects you, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're like this kind of really warmness people, like we will say you're like a people of fire, this kind of tea will chill you down. And like if you have like some skin problem, it actually can help you.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a black tea. Not like, I'm not talking about the black tea. It's the tea is black.
In the color.
And like it's so bitter that I hate it, but like it's always so useful if you have some skin problem on your face and you drink it. Actually, you can fix your skin problem.
What about infection?
I don't know. I don't drink that much. It's just like
Okay. Because I know, for example, some herbal teas are really useful for infections, specifically for women, kind of.
But
specific
I think in this
infection.
case, because it's a cold tea, like the tea itself is
okay.
cold, so for women you shouldn't have that.
Yeah,
that
that's
much.
true.
It's like sometimes you grow something on your face or your skin. It's because you have too many like heatness or fireness in your body, so
Yeah,
you drink this tea to
The
chill down.
nature of your body
Like
has been
too warm.
too warm and maybe humid or dry.
Yeah, so you drink this tea to drop the temperature down. I don't know. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. I know it's not according to the color, but because you saw this image, like it said like bitter tea, and I'm like, oh, bitter tea, and my throat and like the bitterness will just come out from me, my inside part.
It wakes up that part
Uh-huh.
because you already know how it tastes.
True.
You remind me to a drink that we have, not that you said about the presentation of it, and it's called pinolillo. We actually, a nickname that people have from my country is related to that word because apparently we drink it a lot. And it's based of corn with some cocoa and cinnamon that gives like a very interesting flavor to it. So the interesting part of this is not just the fact of how common it is, but the fact that they serve it in these jicaras, that I will show you a picture. And the jicaras that are kind of like apparently a calabash tree. So you have like this tree that has this shell that is really, really hard. We actually, if some of that hits you in the head, it's gonna knock you out probably.
It's like coconut. Like
like even
the idea,
like the pain of it, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then you make these called jicaras that are based in that fruit, and they're like containers with this hard shell that you drink this pinolillo in this, and they made some engravings of flowers, of landscapes of the country. So if you go to a typical restaurant, like those restaurants that only sell like typical food, and they typically they're gonna serve you the drink in that container, in that like, and I don't know, some people also have it in their house and they're used to because it has a little stick where you can stir that because it has like a lot of steel pieces of it. And then sometimes you have to stir it so it mixes really well with the ice. So then if for some reason, because we're so used to do that with that drink, you have any drink with ice and you stir it. Because you have to buy like you with a soda. The soda doesn't have anything in the bottom, and you're like stirring because you're too used to do it with the other one.
You're saying that these containers, the jicaras, no? We also have it in Mexico, and when you run out of water and you need to gather the water to shower, then you say like you are showering yourself on jicarazos. So you are using this shelf to put the water on you. Like, yep. It's not related, I just remember.
That's interesting.
But yeah, for example, for us, I think in Latin America we are more used to like our drinks, our juices are based in the fruits that we have, or like corn, like the things that we are most familiar with. But I know that in other countries like yours, they're more like or used to have tea instead of having like a juice, right?
We do have juice,
But we have
but
juice.
mixed with tea.
But we have juice because we have some regions that it's so warm and dry, so people had to have different kind of juice to cool their body down. Like lemonade, or different kind of. We have something really famous. Tokh sharbati. I don't know what is the chia.
Chia. I know.
Yeah, something like this.
I'm just reminding of this. It's kind of like a tofu thing. Like I'm going to show an image. It's now I think like for us, it's kind of like between dessert and drink. It's a sweet soup thing. It can be a drink, but also it can be a dessert. Like you mix this kind of really super soft tofu thing. It's kind of like tofu, and mixing with a bubble and other kind of ingredients, and with like sugar water, black sugar water most of the time. It for summer it's really refreshing for me. Yeah. But during winter they will put ginger sugar water. It can warm you up. Yeah. It's also like probably during summer we will put ice on it. Yeah, like no, like sometimes I feel like it's a drink, but sometimes probably for you probably it's more like a dessert or a soup, a sweet soup.
Do you have this herbal distillate?
But
Like
not alcoholic.
no. Like the process is, I think you're putting the herbal things under a lot of pressure and you get a extraction of it, something like this. So we have lots of these stuffs. And one of the most famous one, if you know, is rose water, which comes from a flower. So we have a region in Iran, it's Kashan and Ramsar and neighborhood, which are famous for this process. So make a lot of rose water, and they have this festival of gathering the flowers. And do you drink rose water, like a combination of rose water with something?
No, we don't have that much rose.
Roses are really expensive.
But isn't like the relative of rose?
Yes, it is.
It's I think
And it has a really good smell.
it's another kind of rose. It's
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I don't think we
True.
have it.
We
Damask rose?
yeah, I think I only see it in ice cream. I
Mm.
think they put it in somewhere like in the south region of Mexico or central region of Mexico. They have it as an ice cream flavor.
I think we have more tea thing. If you want to have a refresh summer, probably. But typically tea should be warm, so
But you can add for the flavor,
it's going to break the flavor of tea.
It depends,
Yeah, I know, but like traditionally.
No, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I know that my mom sometimes adds this damask rose to tea or to desserts, especially traditional desserts. Yeah.
I think in my case, we grow so many fruits. So for us, like refreshing summer drinks is always some kind of juice fruit, like I don't know, dragon fruit, mango, passion fruit, and so on. So because we have them, so it's like, I think it's easier to process them, to find them in the market.
Or make like a very thick syrup of it, and then you have a block of ice, and someone will be crushing the ice with a
I know, we have that.
Oh, we have those.
and they put it in a
Like a glass. Like a,
and then this thick syrup of the fruits on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we
So
do.
good.
Oh, I miss that so much. Why you mentioned it? This is the one we have back home.
this is like that. It's the cube of ice, and then you add
I
the
know.
syrup
Oh, but
until
it's
it becomes like this.
Yeah, we
and
do
then you
have-
add like with a spoon.
We call it yakh dar behesh. It means ice in the heaven.
You're always so poetic.
Yeah, because for us it's something like scratching because you're scratching the ice.
I think this one's from Japan. Like it's really similar, right? But I think the thing for us is I think we love to add food inside of anything. So we will add beans, bubbles, like kind of tofu thing inside, and you can eat all together. And
End up in a soup.
in the end, it became a soup.
And then you have the guy in the street selling it in a tiny car with all the different kinds of syrups.
Oh my
so
goodness.
good.
So, as we wrap up this episode of Borderless Heritage, we traverse the cultural landscape of Germany and beyond, exploring the unique and cherished street beverage that they are different from the regions, from the cozy warm blue wine in the Christmas markets to the historical hibiscus that has been resonated all over the world, but also we have cacao drinks, we have tapioca, bubble tea, and we have Damascus rose that is very much used in Iran. So in contrast with the limited options that we have find here in Germany, we hopefully wish to share this tapestry of global street food that we have encountered. Cheers to the diversity of the world. We are here to celebrate it. And until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the borderless heritage that makes us all unique. Cheers!